The following are the solutions to the previous school day's homework. Students will get 100 points if they show all work for all problems. Students will get extra points for any correct answers they obtain. All student work is photographed before they check their own paper. The answer for number 1 should be 1.6 or negative 7.6. You must have rounded to the tens place and have the answer that is on the screen. These are 1 point per problem if you have both numbers correct. Number 2, negative 4.1 or 1.5. 3, no solution. 4 is 1.4 or negative 1.1. 5 is 2.2 or negative 9.2. The reason why the square root sign shows up in some of these and not in the others is because, for example, if you had 3 plus or minus the square root of 144 over 2, that simplifies to 3 plus or minus 12 over 2 because this is a perfect square. In this case, 2 plus or minus the square root of 26 over 3 would simply stay this way and be broken up into two problems in which one is plus and one is minus because this is not a perfect square. So we must just do that in the calculator. 6 is negative 2 or 1.3. 7 is no solution. 8 is no solution. 9, no solution. 10 is negative 1 or 0.3. Here's a review that may help most of you. Negative 4 squared is negative 16. The quantity squared of negative 4 is positive 16. Anytime you have something like this, b squared, and b equals negative 4, you treat the variable as a set of parentheses. And with that, the quantity squared of negative 4 is positive 16. That is the case because the quantity squared of negative 4 is the same as negative 4 times negative 4, which is positive 16. Negative 4 squared is the same thing as negative 4 times 4, as in 4 times 4 with this negative sign still outside of the whole thing. Therefore, it would be equal to a negative 16. The following are extra credit answers for the assignment that was given as extra credit with the previous homework assignment. For number 1, it is 1.5 or negative 1. Number 2 is no solution. 3 is 0.6 or 5.4. 4 is 1.3 or negative 0.7. 5 is 0.3 or negative 1.9. The extra credit is 2 points each. The YouTube bonus is separate. If you did that, the answer is negative 1.5 or 0.5. If you go to www.facebook.com/Skinner Classroom and like that page, as well as getting 9 other people who are not duplicates of somebody else that's been had to like the page or have liked it before, then you get 10 points per like. Your test tomorrow is over the quadratic formula. You must know how to do the quadratic formula. You must memorize the quadratic formula, which is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. You will have one problem in which you have to figure out the missing parts of the problem using the quadratic formula, and then you'll have problems where you have to start from scratch and use the whole formula. This problem is x squared minus 16x plus 48 equals 0. The b is this, negative 16. So you're going to have negative 16, because in the formula it's negative b to start with. Plus or minus the square root of the quantity squared of negative 16. And then minus 4 times 1 times c. This is a, and this is c. All of this is over 2 times a, which is 1. 2 times a. A is 1. This becomes positive, double negative. The quantity squared of negative 16 is 256. And then you're going to have 4 times 1 times 48, which is going to be 192. I know that this is going to remain a minus sign here because each one of these is positive. If there were a minus sign and one negative over here, it's going to make it plus. If it's a minus sign and two negatives, it's going to make it minus. It's a matter of odd and even. Even number of signs is going to be plus. Odd number is going to be minus. On the bottom you have a 2. 256 minus 192 is 64. 64 is a perfect square because at this point you should know the perfect squares, which are 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, and then there is 64 in the list. You should know these by now up to 100. The square root of 64 is 8. And now you have two problems to do. One is 16 plus 8 over 2, and the other is 16 minus 8 over 2. 24 over 2 is 12, and 8 over 2 is 4. 12 or 4 are the solutions. Try this one and bring it up here. This one is negative 3x squared minus 4x minus 8 equals 0. The solution for this problem is negative 4 plus or minus the square root of the quantity squared of negative 4 minus 4 times negative 3 times negative 8 over 2 times negative 3. That's going to be 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 minus 72 over negative 6. This part is going to give you a negative number. That part is the discriminant. Therefore, if it's less than 0, you have no solutions. And the answer would be written like this, abbreviated. This problem is 4x squared minus 5x minus 1 equals 0. Can somebody tell me what A, B, and C are? Sprague. Yeah? That's right. A is 4, B is negative 5, C is 1. All right, what's the first thing I write in the quadratic formula with the numbers going in? Ruart. 5? Yeah, it will be 5. And why is it a positive 5? That goes to Johnson. Why is it positive? Yeah, it's a double negative. It would be negative 5, so we just have 5. So we have 5 or plus or minus And then what is the next thing I write? Darnell.
It's your square root sign, and then parentheses, and inside parentheses is -5 and squared, and then -4, then 4, and negative.
That's right. And what comes after that? Holiday.
Divided by 2 times 4.
That's right, divided by 2 times 4. Okay, so I'm going to go down to the next line and do 5 plus or minus. And what's the next thing that I write after this point? Salyers.
You would write 5 squared, which would be 25.
25, that's right. What sign is going to go in the middle? And that question goes to McDane. Yeah, it's going to be plus. Why is that a plus sign in the middle, Hughes? That's right. This other one here is a minus. You end up with 2 negatives technically, so it goes to plus. This one does not count towards what this sign is here. It's only that sign in the middle and everything after it. This one does not count. Alright, so what do I write next as we reset the sticks here? Sprague. 16, yeah. 4 times 4 times 1 is 16, and on the bottom I will have an 8. So I need 5 plus or minus the square root of what? Holiday. $41 is right, and that's over 8. Alright, so I need to do 5 plus the square root of 41 over 8, and then 5 minus the square root of 41 over 8. So on the left-hand side, I need to put in 5 plus the square root of 41 and then hit equals, and then divide by 8 to come up with 1.4 rounded to the tenths place. And on the right side, 5 minus the square root of 41 equals, and then divide by 8. That is a negative 0.2. The answers for the end of class quiz are the following: 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And for the bonus, it is -5, -3, 8, -1, 8. The lottery is 2, 10, 4, 3, 10.